Welcome. I'm Brooks Hayslip, your guide to a connected life to inspire mindful living. I am a huge believer that how we align our bodies affects every area of our life. So through this practice, it's going to be short and super effective. I'm going to guide you into what I call optimal alignment, using the visualization of 3 core points in our bodies to bring us into what I'll call home base. Those 3 points are the pelvis, the pelvic floor, the center of the pelvic floor, the heart, the center of the chest, the heart space, and the palate of the mouth, the roof of your mouth. So if you take your tongue up to the roof of your mouth, you'll even then feel energy coming in and rising up into that space in your body. Notice that? Notice how also when you do that, the chin slightly glides back. The base of the skull slightly draws back, which is not where most of us stand and hold ourselves throughout most of our day. So now release that. Let the chin pop forward and just notice how the shoulders come forward versus onto the back. And notice how the ribs, the lungs, don't feel as spacious. There's more pressure on them. Their potentiality to receive good fresh oxygen has been compressed. So now take the chin back, base of the skull back. Okay, so you're not tucking your chin down. I'll turn sideways. You're gliding the bottom earlobes back. So the chin remains neutral. It's not tucked down and it's not lifted up. You can imagine taking your hands, or even do so, at the base of the skull and pressing back, straight back like you're on a glider. When we do that, there's spaciousness in the chest. The ribs are open, the diaphragm is open. There's more room for the organs in the back and the front of your body to receive support from deeper breath. So if we are in fight, flight, freeze, which is tailbone scooped under, right? Think of a scared dog when they're scared or overwhelmed. Their tail is tucked under. So fight, flight, freeze, most of us are living in this space these days. Our pelvis is forward and our chin is forward, and we're not taking good, deep, long breaths. We're not emptying out what no longer serves us. We are not, in other words, taking in optimal breath to therefore bring freshness to the organs, cleansing us out, letting go of what doesn't serve us, and creating more fresh blood up into our brain. So literally our mindset, our thoughts, our beliefs can be more optimal. So this is so important. Okay, I could talk all day long about that, but I'm gonna get to the physical parts of it. So notice throughout your day, when you're standing, where your pelvis is, and start with that, or where your chin is, because if you take your chin back, your hips are going to go back a little bit. If you let your chin go forward, the hips are going to come forward a little bit. So you can pick your starting point. I like to start with the hips, and I line up the hips, the low ribs, which brings the heart center there, and the palate of the mouth. Even just standing here, so hips are over ankles, shoulders are over hips, ears over shoulders. Imagine you're at a wall behind you and you're just leaning back a little bit, and then take some big, long breaths. If you watch my video on box breathing, this is a great stance to hold while taking a couple of minutes of box breathing breaths. So either doing the box breathing or just taking a couple of long inhales and exhales in through your nose and out through your nose. This is now somewhere we're in the middle of a conversation, and you can make it look a lot less obvious than this. Just bringing your intention and attention to, whoa, where am I? Am I in an optimally aligned place to respond to this next moment of my life in the highest and best for me and all beings? Okay, but to start to aim and steer ourselves towards this more often, so this just becomes our natural landing home base versus something we have to be, working for and towards and hyper aware of. We do practices like yoga, foundation training, meditating with this aligned awareness so that our bodies become more and more familiar, yes, but also that we build the muscular structure where this becomes our natural landing place, okay? So what are some of those things that we can do? One of the things is just standing here and then activating your feet more. So lift and spread your toes. Lift the inner and outer arches of your feet. And imagine you are putting on energy stockings and pulling them all the way up to the top of the waistline. Like you're zippering up your energy. You're pulling your feet towards each other, in to the midline and back. Feel that energy in your legs. So your pelvic floor is now lit up. It's on for you. And at the same time, it's settled and steady. So that's an interesting place to find in yourself where you're pulling in and up, but you're also calm and steady. You're not overdoing it. So find that place for you. You are your greatest guide. And then notice how when that's happening in the pelvic floor, it's also happening in the low ribs and the solar plexus at the base of the heart. And then ears over the shoulders. Imagine your energy is lifting up into the roof of your mouth and feel that energy go up through the crown of the head. Our mindset is literally open. We are in that number one quality of the best leaders. We are curious, we are open, we are expansive, we are in our hearts, we are in our power, and at the same time, we are steady and grounded. Yeah, that's what I want more of. I don't know about you. So then let's take this down to the floor. Let's take this to our hands and knees. So again, here, what often will happen, the head will drop or the belly will drop. Okay, so just go back to tone in the pelvic floor, energy stockings on, tone in the solar plexus, heart open, palate of the mouth stretching towards the crown of the head. Yes, so here again, look, our hips, shoulders, and ears are in alignment with each other. Hold this steady. So if you watched another one of my videos recently, there's these imaginary suspenders from the low ribs to the front of the pelvic bones, but there's also a little bit of curve in the low back. So take your left foot back, keep this arm slightly bent so it's not locking, right arm forward. Hold here and just check, did my chin drop? Did my belly drop? Am I toned in my pelvic floor without over efforting? Solar plexus, heart, palate of the mouth. Hold. Breathe. You could do box breathing here or just take long inhales through your nose for a count of 4, 5, or 6. Exhales through your nose for a count of 4, 5, or 6. You can hold that for as long as you wish. We're going to move ahead, but just know in your own practice, you can always hold that longer and challenge yourself, or not. Switching sides. Right foot back. Leg is strong, so it's like someone's pulling energy from the four corners of that right foot up into your right hip socket. Hamstrings are strong. Quad is strong. Squeeze the knee. Keeping the right elbow micro bent. Take the left arm forward. And then line up your points. Pelvic floor, base of the heart, palate of the mouth. Curve in the low back, little suspenders are working but not overworking. And breathe. Feel this neurologically. Trust that it's bringing new spaciousness into your mind, clearing out those thoughts that no longer serve. And the deep breath is clearing out old, stale air that's ready to be done so that you can make way for new, fresh air and cleanse yourself from the inside out. Again, you can hold that for as long as you want. We're going to go ahead and release. And then walk your hands one hand's length forward, tuck your toes under, and make your way to downward dog. Okay, bend your knees a lot. Take your feet as wide as your mat. Widen your knees towards the edges of your mat. Yes, so notice when you do that, you get more space in your hips. Now stretch your hips back and up. Now start to energize your feet. Energy all the way up to the top of the pant line. Scoop the belly. See how my belly just went in? Low ribs are in. And I'm pressing the back of the skull up just a little bit so that the pelvic floor, the base of the heart, and the palate of the mouth are in line. So I'm not collapsing my head, in other words. And I'm not also overlifting because that's crunching the back of my neck. So it's the same idea, just now you're at a diagonal. The base of the skull presses up, ribs are in, heart soft, shoulders wide, externally rotating across the collarbones. And again, long, deep breaths in and out of the nose. Beautiful. Walk your feet in. Take your feet wider than your hips. Interlace your hands behind your backs. Push your thumbs down into the sacrum. Great. Now, energize your legs. Pelvic floor, solar plexus, heart, palate of the mouth, coming halfway up. Stretch your hips straight back. Yep. And the crown of the head, palate of the mouth, energy, crown of the head, energy, towards the front of the mat. Energize the space between those 2 points. From the tailbone to the crown of the head, get energized. Squeeze your elbows towards each other, and then start to straighten your arms. So again, I'm not dropping my chin. I'm not overarching the back of my neck. My belly is strong. Then, if you want, if you can keep the base of the skull pressing back, arm bones back, ribs in, you can start to go forward. Just make sure that the head of the arm bones don't collapse to make you go forward farther, quote unquote, seemingly farther, because now I've collapsed the space in my lungs and my ribs. So I'd rather you not go as far and keep those 3 points optimally aligned and take some deep breaths. And then push down through your heels. Inhale and come up. Now right here, go very slow as you come to vertical again. Keeping the hips back as you release your fingers so they are over your outer ankles, shoulders over the hips, ears over the shoulders. Palms facing forward, and feel those 3 points aligned. Just trusting and knowing that you are cultivating a physical optimal alignment. Yes, for that, because that's awesome, but also trusting that it is informing a more optimal mindset, informing organs with a fresh flow of blood and breath so that you can see and navigate the layers of your life with more ease, grace, intention, productivity, and awesomeness. Okay, so take your right foot forward, left foot back. Same idea here. So we are about 3.5 feet, from the front of the mat to the back of the mat, between the feet, and the feet are hip width apart. Again, pelvic floor, solar plexus, heart is open, palate of the mouth. Bring your hands in front. Beautiful. And we're just gonna hinge forward at the hips, keeping the palate of the mouth back, pelvic floor toned without gripping, solar plexus steady. And we're just gonna go forward, push the base of the skull back, belly back, and back. 2 more. Inhale, forward. Exhale through your nose back. Last one on this side. Inhale, forward. Beautiful. Switching sides. Left foot forward, right foot back. Arms out in front. Palate of the mouth, solar plexus, pelvis, pelvis, solar plexus. Palate of the mouth, heart open. Legs are strong, but they're pushing down, grounded in the earth. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale. Exhale. Last one this side, inhale. Beautiful. Bringing both feet as wide as the mat. I'm going to scoot back a little bit so hopefully you can see my hands better. Hips are back over my ankles. Palate of the mouth back. Waistline full. Imaginary suspenders. Awesome. And then I just want you to bring your hands together in prayer. And we're going to end with 3 of these. Now, here's a new thing I want you to do is try to keep your shins top of the shin over the bottom of the shin, okay? So we're trying not to go like this. We're trying to keep our shins back. Hips are the moving piece. Knees are slightly bent, not locked, okay? Fine line, right? Okay. Pelvic floor, solar plexus, palate of the mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, hips back, belly forward, palate of the mouth forward. Exhale, push down through your feet. Pull the shoulder blades back, base of the skull back. Last one. Micro bend in the knees, belly toned, shoulders back, palate of the mouth back. Beautiful. We're going to end by standing in the optimal alignment again. Imagining you're at a wall, hips, solar plexus, shoulders, palate of the mouth. Close your eyes and breathe this home base optimal alignment into your inner knowing of optimal flow. There's a balance in the energy 360 degrees around you. Back of the body equal with the front of the body. Right side and left. And you stand in your truth in the middle. How you want to do you. And the layers and the tapestry of this life. Make it a great day. Thank you for showing